All right. Today's the day. We're going to do Sierra's Checkride.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, so we're going to do a mock oral.
Okay.
And we're going to see how much you know for your upcoming Checkride on Sunday. Yay. So, see how we do here. Okay, so we're going to act just kind of like a regular Checkride as much as I can. And we're going to start with some pilot qualifications. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with my first question. Okay, after you pass this Checkride today, before we go up, what must you have with you to act as pilot in command?
I would need my pilot certificate.
Mm-hmm.
I would need a government issued ID, and I would need my medical.
Correct. Perfect. All right. That sounds good. So you have a third class medical, I assume. And if you're under the age of 39, how long is that valid for?
60 months.
Okay. And if it was issued over the age of 40, how long is that valid for?
24?
Are you asking me a question?
I feel like it's longer than 24.
No, you were correct.
I am correct?
Yeah, you were, yeah.
Okay.
24.
24.
Yeah. So you know it. You know it inside. Just, if you know it, you know it.
Okay.
So go with your initial first answer. It's
Okay.
usually going to be the one that's the most correct. Okay. So if it's good for 24 months, would it be that day?
The calendar month. So
Correct.
if it's the end of the month.
That's correct. All right. Let's see. Let me go down to the next question here. Okay. Your certificate and medical are current, but you haven't flown in 5 months. May you fly alone?
You could, but you're not proficient, so it'd be smarter to go up with an instructor, do a review, and then go ahead and go fly.
Okay. If that's your personal minimum.
Yes.
Okay, but
I'm legally current, but I'm not proficient.
Okay.
In my standards.
Okay, can you carry passengers?
No, I need to have landings 90 days to stay current for passengers.
Okay. And are those to a full stop?
If I'm carrying passengers at night, they need to be to a full stop.
Correct. Okay. So if you so all of those are correct. But if you if you're not current and you haven't flown in 5 months, yes, you could get somebody to go up with you, or you still can legally go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a good pilot, so I'm sure you'll just be able to go right back up and be fine. All right. Cool. Let's see. Okay, what's required to carry passengers at night?
You would have to have 3 landings to a full stop.
Okay.
Within the previous 90 days.
And what is considered nighttime?
1 hour after sunset to 1 hour before sunrise.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. What is a flight review?
A flight review is something that's performed every 24 calendar months with an instructor. 1 hour of ground, 1 hour flying. It's just to make sure you're aware of like any changes, make sure you're still good, maybe some maneuvers, some landings.
Okay. And then how much time do you have to do for a flight review? Is there a certain amount of like flight time that you have to do?
1 hour.
And then ground?
1 hour.
And you might have already said that,
yeah.
But I'm reiterating that. So what can substitute for a flight review?
If you got a new endorsement or a new certificate or a new rating, those would count towards it.
Perfect. So you could go ahead and get your IFR and not have to get a flight review. Then you could get your commercial, not have to get a flight review. Then you can get your CFI and your double I and your MEI and some type ratings, and you won't have to have a flight review. I haven't had a flight review in years because I have to, because I keep getting, I go to recurrent for the jet, and that counts as I don't have to do a flight review. So do that.
Okay.
Do that. You'll never have to do a flight review. Okay. Let's see here. A friend offers to pay the entire cost if you fly a friend to a meeting. Can you legally do that as a private pilot?
No. Okay. I have to pay my share.
What is your share?
My pro rata, so it's like an equal split. So if there's 2 of us, split 50-50. And it's only the cost regarding that flight.
Okay. What about aircraft rental?
The rental, yes, since that's for that flight.
Correct.
But not like like hangar fees or something.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I'll go to the next thing. Okay, so you wake up with your new medication and you feel a little dizzy, but your medical certificate is valid. Can you legally fly?
No. You have to look through I'm Safe before you go fly. So you would just do a mental check-in with yourself, and since it's a new medication.
Perfect.
Better not to
and
fly.
What is I'm Safe?
I'm Safe is just a checklist that you would go through to make sure that you're fit to fly.
Okay.
So we would look at illness, am I sick, medication, obviously the new ones making me dizzy, looking how I slept, looking at any alcohol consumption, fatigue, and then external pressures or factors.
Okay. All right. Exactly. So no, you can't just fly dizzy.
No, not a good idea.
That's a bad idea, even if you're on no medication. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. What are the alcohol rules for flying?
For the FAA, it's 8 hours, and then BAC of 0.04.
Okay. And then what is that bottle to throttle, as they say?
Yes.
Or is
I mean, it's better to be smart, but 8 hours from the last drink.
Correct. But
you shouldn't be under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah, no, that's illegal. So you'll hear pilots say bottle to throttle, but really, when is that 8 hour period? Start like is it just when you have your hand on the throttle and you go?
When you're getting there, because you're pre-flighting and
everything. It's so no crew member may act or attempt to act within 8 hours of drinking while under the influence. It's a regulatory floor for your crew member duty. So when you get there, when you're pre-flighting the airplane, you're getting it ready to go, you're filing a flight plan, that all counts.
Pertains to the flight.
So because you might still be buzzed and then that'd be bad. So that is so people say 8 hour bottle to throttle. I was like, no, not really like bottle to throttle.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't suggest it at all. But yes, so that's good. Okay, let's see. Use I'm safe. Okay, so you whenever I'm safe. Let's see. What about PAVE?
PAVE is another checklist. You're just looking at more of the entire picture. So it starts with pilot, seeing how you're feeling. So usually you would go through the I'm safe checklist. A would be aircraft. What does it look like? Your initial walk-up for pre-flight. V would be environment. How does it look outside? What's going on with the weather? And then E would be external pressures. Is there anything making me want to do this flight that isn't really important?
Yeah, exactly. And even if it was, if those things don't come together, you can always drive.
Yes.
So there's been tons of times where I've known pilots that have had a reason not to fly and they drive. And that's part of aviation. It's like so amazing to be able to fly an airplane, but you have to know that sometimes that airplane is not going to go or you can't take it. So that's part of all of this, is just making sure you're safe and that the airplane is safe and all those things go together, because little things add up. So you get, I have a little bit of a headache. And then you get in the plane and, I forgot to, take the pitot tube off, cover off. No, little things add up. Then they add up to crashes and like big things.
I know Megan says like she gives herself like 3 strikes.
Yes.
And I started doing that. So it's like if I forget 3 things, or like if I, forget my headset in the car and then miss something on the checklist, that's kind of like my limitation.
Exactly. It's like Murphy's Law. It's like just things that just keep happening and it's like, this isn't going too well. I think I'm going to just
different day.
Drive.
Different
Get
day.
there, do it a different day. You never want to be in a hurry in aviation. You want to go slow and make sure that you are set to go before going. And you can always drive. That's why we have cars. Okay, let's see the next question. Okay, so what are some of the 5 hazardous attitudes that you can have in flying that we want to not have?
There's anti-authority, which is kind of like rules don't apply to me. There's impulsivity, just making decisions without thinking. There's macho, which is kind of like, I don't know, like I'm above everything.
I know, which we've heard flying so many times.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys, like macho, like you can't, don't do that.
I know there's one talking about like I'm helpless. Like,
yeah.
I can't. There's nothing I can do.
Yep.
I'm forgetting the last one.
I think anti-authority. Did you say that one?
I did.
Impulse. And like being impulsive.
Yeah.
Let's see. Invulnerability. It could happen to me. And then macho. And then resignation. That's I'm not helpless. Yeah. Or I
am helpless.
Yes.
I can make a difference.
Yes. Make a difference. Yep. Okay. Good. You got those. Okay. So, what passenger briefing is what is required before takeoff?
We use the acronym SAFETY, looking at seatbelts, making sure they know how their seatbelts work. Looking at the air, especially in the Cessna, there's not many options, but letting them know how the heat works, how they can open up the air to get airflow. Yeah. And like when we're taxiing, the windows can be open. Make sure they know like fire, where the fire extinguisher is, or any emergency procedures. And then egress, the windows or the doors. And then T, looking at traffic, helping us call out traffic, which is really helpful. Okay. And then any questions. So you guys do that on the, because she's a flight attendant.
You guys do that.
Yeah.
So do you have the little like
the safety demo? Yeah.
We'll have to do that.
It's a little bit longer though.
It's longer, and then you don't ask the passengers to look for traffic.
No,
that'd be bad.
I'm not even doing that.
But yeah, so that's what you guys do in the jet.
Yes.
Yep. Same thing. Okay, now on to some more good stuff. Explain hypoxia.
Hypoxia is the lack of oxygen in the atmosphere of your blood.
Okay, that's correct. What are some of the symptoms that it could cause?
You could get blue fingertips or blue lips, confusion, dizziness, headache, euphoria, just overall, like, you're going to feel really weird and out of it.
That's correct. What about hyperventilation?
Hyperventilation is the rapid breath. You have too much carbon, or you don't have enough carbon in your blood. There's too much oxygen coming in.
Okay. And then what could you do to prevent, or not prevent, but slow down hyperventilation if it's happening to you?
Sometimes just talking helps you regulate your breathing, or you take a bag and breathe into a bag.
Yep, breathe into a bag slowly, slow, deep breaths. And
try to calm yourself down. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, carbon monoxide poisoning. How could you potentially get it in an aircraft? And what are the things you could do to get rid of it?
If there was a crack in any part of the engine and it kind of got into the cabin air, that would bring the exhaust in, and then you would have carbon monoxide in the air. You could open your windows, but like close the cabin heat and everything that's bringing it in from the outside.
Okay. And then when you say like your vents bringing in carbon monoxide from the engine, what particular vents are more at risk for bringing that in?
Like the cabin heat?
Correct. So the heat, because the heat's coming from inside the engine, so that's where it would come from. So yeah, you'd want to turn off the cabin heat, and if you've got, Cessna or whatever with the windows, we've flown with the windows open before, pop those windows open and land. But, land safely and get on the ground. Yeah. Any emergency, you don't want to ever turn, even if it's a small thing, could turn into a big thing. But you never want to make a bigger emergency out of something small, right? Go freak out and your carbon monoxide thing's going off in the airplane because you've got the little sensor and you're like, oh my God, and then you come in and bounce the plane. That could be bad when really it goes off at a certain level and you might have some more, you have more time before it gets too bad potentially. So you always want to not turn one emergency into multiple emergencies.
Don't rush.
Yeah, like when I had the bird strike, I thought, oh my gosh, what if I forgot to put my gear down and then turned it into a second emergency? Not only did I have no front windshield, I'm like, now I'm going to land with no gear? No, that's not smart. So I had to slow down and be like, all right, got this going on, but I still have to fly the airplane. So I have to fly the airplane first. Okay, let's talk about supplemental oxygen requirements for an unpressurized aircraft. Yay. So give me the altitudes that you need to have supplemental oxygen.
Above 12,500 to 14,000 If you're operating in there for 30 minutes, over 30 minutes, crew members need to have oxygen. Above 14,000, crew members need to use it. And then above 15,000, it needs to be offered to passengers as well.
Correct. And is that MSL or AGL?
AGL.
Is that MSL or AGL?
MSL.
Yes, MSL. That is correct. Okay, so let's see. But you had a 50-50 chance. 50-50.
I was like, take and say it with confidence.
Let's see. Okay. Anything about night vision that happens at nighttime. Sorry, at nighttime. So I'm just going to read you what my question was. Night vision can degrade as much as at much lower altitudes. So using oxygen at night above 5,000 is guidance. So I've flown many times without oxygen over 5,000 feet, but that's, the limit to know. So, okay, so scuba diving. Would you go scuba diving and then just go flying?
No.
Okay, why not?
Scuba diving introduces more nitrogen into your bloodstream. So if you went straight from scuba diving into higher altitude, your blood, there's gonna be like bubbles in your blood vessels.
That sounds horrible. Yeah.
So you should wait 24 hours.
Okay.
Recommended after dives.
Yeah, I'd probably wait even die. So
I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, yeah, but definitely wait 24 hours. And 24 hours before flight above 8,000. That also says that in here. And yeah, you could get that would be bad.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure to keep those things.
Yeah. Separate.
Okay. All right. Give me 3 spatial disorientation or night visual illusions and how to mitigate for each of them.
Autokinesis at night.
Okay.
When you're staring at like a light for too long, it appears to move.
Yeah.
So, just kind of scanning rather than staring directly at something. False horizon. That would be fog or clouds, stars, boats making you really confused where the horizon is. And then black hole could happen if it was completely dark and you just aren't aware of what's going on.
That is correct. Doing a really good job. Okay.
Yay!
You're doing a really, really good job. These are great. Not only are you answering the questions, you're understanding what you're announcing.
Had good instructors. What can I say?
You do. Yes, you do. And you put in the time. Okay. The next one is going to be. I'm gonna pause real quick.
Okay.
Pause. Okay, we're back from our 2-minute break. All right, moving on up. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, yay. Airworthiness and maintenance.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay, what does it mean for the airplane that you're going to be flying today to be airworthy?
That means that we have the airworthiness certificate.
Okay.
And the owner and operator has made all of the inspections and needed maintenance for the plane, and that it's good to fly.
Perfect. So it must conform to its approved type design, and have the airworthiness certificate in the aircraft visible. And who is responsible for airworthiness? The owner, the operator, or the pilot in command?
Owner and operator, but the pilot in command is like the final, like, we're good to go.
Correct.
You have to double check everything.
Yeah, because you can't just trust the owner and operator. Not that you you can't. You never know. They could think it's okay, and maybe it's not. So it's before I take a plane up, I'm gonna make sure that thing is ready to go, and it's your responsibility to do that. And even if you're with a new flight school or you're jumping in with a really experienced pilot, it's like, hey, let's take a look at these things.
Just double check it.
Because that's gonna be your life up there in the sky. So protect it. All right. I'm not gonna have you show me because we're not at the airplane, but what are the aircraft documents required on board for today's flight?
The airworthiness certificate.
Okay.
We would need the registration. We're not going international, but if you are, radio license.
Okay.
Operating handbook, and then the weight and balance.
Correct. Okay. Speaking of weight and balance, if you were to do the weight and balance and we were at max gross weight for today's flight, but I brought a bag 5 pounds heavier than the weight and balance, and we were off the chart for that, what would we be able to still go, and how could we potentially go?
We could lower our fuel.
What if we already topped it off?
We could just have you leave some of your baggage at home.
We could.
Yeah.
Great.
Take some stuff out of the bag.
We can't. I've done that with passengers before. It's like we got a full plane. We've got all their bags, and they get there and they're like, "We're taking these additional items. We're taking this additional 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds of fish back in the airplane from a fishing trip, or moose heads." Or moose heads, I'm serious, or whatever weird things people take in their planes. What I've told them and what you would tell them is, no, it's got to stay, or ship it. Yeah. You know, there's UPS, ship it back, or whatever. You could defuel, but maybe not at the airport.
Depending how far you're going, what you need.
But you can't go. So that was correct. Okay, so we got that. When does the registration and the airworthiness certificate expire?
Registration is 7 years.
Correct.
And then airworthiness does not expire as long as the aircraft is maintained and all of the needed inspections are.
Okay. All right. And we'll get to the inspections. Let's see. Skipping a couple of these. Okay, so speaking of inspections, what are the inspections that we need for the flight school for today?
The annual. So every year we need to do the annual. We need to do the VOR every 30 days for IFR, since we do, some of the girls use it for IFR. The 100-hour, since we are for hire. Let's see, we would need the altimeter and pitot static system, 24 calendar months, the transponder, 24 calendar months, and then the ELT, 12 calendar months, or after an hour of consecutive use, or 50% of the battery life.
Okay, that's great. So for the 100-hour inspection, can we overfly the 100-hour when we're, let's say, doing the last lesson before we take it to maintenance?
No, you can only overfly it by 10 hours if it's to the spot for maintenance. So
correct.
Flying it up to Auburn.
Yep, exactly. So that, and then would the 100-hour inspection start at, if we overfly it by an hour to get it to maintenance, would we be at 100 hours from the inspection again, or?
You'd be at 99. That 1 hour would go towards the next 100.
That way people don't push the limit.
Yeah, add up over time.
Yeah, because then, that'd be bad. Okay, perfect. Let's see, the ELT. Let's see, when must an ELT battery be replaced or recharged?
After 50% of battery life is used, or an hour of consecutive use.
Okay, perfect. And then you said, 12 calendar months for inspection. And what is an airworthiness directive?
An AD, it's kind of similar to like a car dealership giving like a recall.
Okay.
It's a safety measure that is legally you have to comply with, and you have to make sure your aircraft is compliant with them. Update anything.
How would you know that it was?
In the logbooks, we have the AD compliance sheets to see that each annual or 100-hour they're being complied with.
Correct. Okay. And what's the difference between a service bulletin and an AD?
An AD comes from the FAA, and then a service bulletin is from your manufacturer. So it's kind of, the service bulletin is a little bit more of a suggestion, like, hey, you should do this, but an AD is like, you legally have to do this.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. All right. Good. I thought I'd get you on that one, but no, can't get you on any of them.
Don't say that yet.
Okay. So you go out to the plane today. You find that the landing light is inoperative for today's VFR daytime flight. First of all, could you still fly?
I would look at 91-205.
Okay.
To see. I would think for daytime you can land without a landing light.
Okay, so you'd look it up. You'd be no guessing, right?
Yeah.
You'd look it up and see. So where are some of the places you could look to see it? Let's say that it was in the FAR that you could fly without the landing light on for the daytime. Where else would you look to see if you could fly with something inoperative in the airplane?
You could go to 91213 and follow that checklist to see if it complies with all of that stuff.
Okay. Yep. So, and then have you heard of an MEL?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could do
minimum equipment list.
Yep. MEL, kinds of operation list, the POH. So if it was illegal, if you could fly with it per the regs, but then the aircraft POH says you can't, you just have to go off the one that's the closest to being legal.
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Okay, so now if you have an operative fuel gauge, but you dip the fuel and you see, oh, she's got fuel in it, could you fly? Can you depart?
No, you need the fuel gauge.
Correct. How do you know that?
91.
Exactly. That's correct. So you know it because you know, but 91-205 is where you can find that. So
A tomato flames.
A tomato flames, baby. All right. Okay, what's the difference? Well, do you know the difference between an MEL and a KOEL, kinds of operation equipment list?
MEL is minimum equipment list, and then KOEL is kinds of equipment operating list.
Yes, yep, correct. So an MEL is an approved for a specific aircraft and operator with its authorization, provides conditions and procedures for dispatch with listed items inoperative, and then the kinds KOEL, kinds of operation equipment list, in the POH identifies equipment required for the listed kinds of operation. So a little bit different, but both good tools to use to see. Okay. What preventative maintenance may a private pilot perform and record, and what kind of record entry is required? And you know, because you saw me do one. So what are some of that, and where can you find those?
I think it's Appendix 43A.
That is correct.
We can do an oil change. We can do light bulbs. Anything very small and minor.
Yes. Now, could I watch somebody, like if I was the aircraft owner, could I watch them do it and not do it?
Unless it's a mechanic.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you have to. You have to do it yourself, unless it's an approved mechanic. Approved. That is correct. Okay. And then, what kind of entry would I need to make?
You would have to say when it was done, where it was done, the type of certificate, like letting you know, like if it was a private pilot, your certificate, all of your information, all the details about what was recorded, date, time, place.
Okay, perfect. What kind of coffee you were drinking?
Yeah, everything, color,
all
shirt.
That stuff. Correct. All right. Okay. There's some of these that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make you go there. Okay. During your pre-flight, you find a cracked exhaust component and smell exhaust in the cabin, but the logbooks are current. What is your decision?
Well, this happened.
Oh yeah, it did.
I would just not go because that would put you at risk of fire if the exhaust isn't properly being exhausted.
Correct, which we had that happen. We had the exhaust on one of her flights completely break off, and it was before they took the plane, obviously, and they grounded the plane, and that's what you should do.
Maintenance. Y'all fix it.
Because like it was just the bottom of the exhaust, and it was like, okay, it's broken off. Yeah, maybe no big deal, but maybe a big deal because more can be going on. The problem may be bigger than it is. So correct. And then when would we take it flying again?
Once it was fixed.
Correct. And maintenance has signed it off and said it's good to go. Correct. Return to service. Right. Getting into weather.
Yay!
Okay, so today you've planned a cross country for our flight, and so tell me without, you don't need to show me your flight plan, but where did you start by getting the weather for where we're going?
I usually go to 1-800 weather brief.
Okay.
Or like avweather.com or .gov.
Okay.
I look at those just to see the giant picture, and then as it gets closer, I usually like to back up my stuff with ForeFlight, go through there, and then also look at like just call like the AWAS and ADIS just to see what it is at the different airports once it gets closer.
Yep. You want to check all available weather from everywhere, all those spots. Call 1-800 weather brief. Check on the websites. In ForeFlight, there's a briefing. You know how to get to the briefing in ForeFlight.
Walk through that. It's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Go through the briefing. Go through the charts. See what's coming in. See how the weather's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
See how the weather's going to be tonight. You just want to make sure all the other airports, like everything, you never know when Mother Nature is going to do something. And if you at least take a look and use all your tools, say, okay, I didn't know the thunderstorm was coming in. It's like, did you look? Did you just... Okay, so correct. Let's see here. What is a TFR?
Temporary flight restriction.
Can you go into one?
No. You could get clearance to go into one.
Yeah, you could get clearance to go into one, depending on the one. We have the one here at Beale, and you can go into it all day long as you're talking to someone. Sometimes there's the firefighting ones, or they've got president ones.
VIPs.
VIPs, and you cannot go into those. What is a NOTAM?
A NOTAM is a notice of just anything that's kind of abnormal that you need to be aware of, letting you know that something else is going on, that you just have to, it's like an alert, like, hey, this is different, this is non-standard.
Yes. Okay. And what is a PIREP?
A PIREP is a pilot report of weather, real-time, turbulence or changes, and it'll tell you like what type of aircraft, where they are, how high.
Okay. Correct. It's always nice to look at PIREPs.
Yeah.
Because you can get a picture of what real pilots are doing when they're flying into...
Especially if it's like a 737. I'm like,
yeah.
150.
Yeah. It's like moderate, severe turbulence from a 737. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take my Cessna. No. So correct. It kind of depends on what aircraft reported the PIREP, and then you make your decision to go there or not. So good. Can't have you decode the METAR right this second, so we'll do that later. Okay, what is the difference? What's a METAR?
A METAR is an hourly report of the weather at the airport.
Okay.
What's happening?
And do you know what a specie?
A special. I think that's if there's any significant changes within that hour that you need to be aware of. They're not like automated.
Yep, unscheduled special observation issued. Okay. And let's see. What is a TAF?
Terminal Aerodrome Forecast.
What does that do?
It's a 24 to 30 hour outlook of the weather within the vicinity of the airport.
Okay. That's very helpful to have.
Yeah.
And on ForeFlight, there's a MOS.
Okay.
It's
specific to ForeFlight.
It's specific to ForeFlight, but it's also good to take a look at and just, look at everything you got there.
All
Sometimes the MOS is accurate and sometimes it's not, but it's a ForeFlight thing.
Better to see it.
And I love ForeFlight. We love ForeFlight. They are the best. All right. Oh, I gotta pause this real quick. Okay, we back again.
We're back.
We're back. All right, now I forgot what we were talking about, so we'll start over. No. Okay, so probably should have read this before we started recording so I knew where I was at.
It's okay.
That's okay. I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. Tell me, differentiate an air met, a sigmet, and a convective sigmet.
AirMet is more for general aviation, smaller aircraft.
Okay.
SIGMET would be more significant, more aggressive weather updates, kind of for bigger aircrafts.
Like what kind of weather would that be?
Thunderstorms,
Mm-hmm.
severe turbulence.
Mm-hmm.
And then
and
convective SIGMET would be
correct.
Even more aggressive.
Correct.
Weather.
So convective SIGMET is more of the thunderstorms, embedded thunderstorm lines, large areas of convective activity, all that. So perfect. Okay. All right. Explain stable air versus unstable air and the weather to each that tends to happen.
Stable air, it's resisting the tendency to lift and cause any sort of weather. So stable air, it's going to be better flying. Unstable air, you're going to have a lot more thunderstorms, convective activity, more heavy rain, turbulence.
Okay. Good job. What weather do you expect with a warm front?
Warm front, I'm going to think for a second.
Okay, think for a second. And
I always get these twisted.
So do you want to start with the cold front?
I would probably be opening up the FAA Aim right now.
Let's open it up. Where would you find it? Let's take a look. This is an open book test, and you haven't opened your book.
It once.
Yeah, so she's going all off memory, and that is pretty good.
Let's see.
Beautiful tabs.
All put in by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, she didn't order it tabbed. She put them in on her own.
I thought it was like chapter 11. The back. Let's see.
And you have a 2026 FAR Aim, all updated.
I know, but they have a new one now.
Oh,
yeah, they already have the 27 one.
Always.
Let's do this. My go-to. Well, this is awkward.
No, this is how it's supposed to be. It's open book, and as long as you know where to find information, it's better than spitting out an answer that's not correct.
I thought I knew where to find it. Why is it not?
Because you're under pressure.
First thing, you got me.
Good.
Back to this.
Back.
Me and weather. We have anger issues. I swear I'm not missing it. What? Nodums, wake turbulence. Right.
Oh gosh, I don't have my glasses on. Okay, so
we'll pause for a second.
We'll pause.
Hold on.
We'll pause. I'm pausing.
Yeah, because I actually need.
Okay, we back. All right, let's talk about a warm front.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
A warm front occurs when a warm air mass advances and replaces a colder body of air. Okay. They're slower. It's kind of more like a blanket.
Okay.
Comes in, puts a veil over it.
Okay. Go back. Okay. What about what type of weather do you expect with a cold front?
Cold front. It's gonna be more stable. It's moving faster, so you're gonna have more aggressive weather because it kind of comes in like a snowplow and lifts everything up.
Perfect. Okay, faster, possible thunderstorms, turbulence, a narrow band of showers. And what about an occluded front?
Occluded front is kind of a mix because it's the two kind of forming together, so you can have a mix of like both warm and cold.
Okay. And is there one front that would take over another front with an occluded front?
The cold.
Yeah, cold front overtakes the warm front.
They're faster.
Okay. Exactly.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, now that we
got that.
Woo, man. Okay. Okay, next on the agenda here. Let's see. Okay, high and low pressure systems.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about a high versus a low pressure system.
A low pressure system is going to have more weather because it's kind of like drawing everything in versus high pressure. It's up and everything's just going away from it.
Okay. So the temperature and the dew point are converging near sunset. What risk does that signal?
If they're close together, you could be at risk of carb ice.
Yeah, that's good. And what kind of weather would you potentially see when those two are together?
You could get fog.
Correct. A lot of time, like Santa Rosa, when you see in the mornings, it's dew point, temperature, same. I'm like, it's going fog. Yeah. Fog's over there. So, yeah, that's the big one is fog. And so, give me a couple types of fog names.
There's upslope, advection, radiation, steam.
Okay. I'm not going to make you go into fogs right now. So you lucked out. You're doing so well and everything else. Let's see. Why is visible frost a no-go even if it looks thin?
Because it could be at risk of icing if it gets below freezing temperatures.
Yep. And what does it do? What could it do to an aircraft?
Well, if you get icing, that's going to reduce increase drag, increase weight,
Yep. So it disrupts the smooth air, reduces lift, increases drag, raises the stall speed, and it'd be bad. So we wouldn't want to do that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about carb ice.
Okay.
So how could you potentially get carb ice?
If there was moisture present in the air and then it cools, it can just within the venturi, it drops even lower pressure and then it'll
within the venturi. Tell me more about the venturi.
it's in the carburetor, and it's just creating a differential in pressure, a pressure differential. So once it goes through the really skinny part,
potential icing in there. So if you were flying and you thought maybe you had carb ice, what would be some of the characteristics that you'd see in the aircraft happening?
You could have engine roughness or a drop in RPMs.
Okay. And let's say that happened. What would you do?
Turn on carb heat.
Correct. And what would you see happen when you turn on the carb heat?
You might still see a little bit of a drop, but then it should increase over time once the ice dissipates.
And then when it dissipates, what would you do? Would you keep the carb heat on or would you turn it off?
If I'm staying at the same altitude and it's the same conditions, probably leave it on. But if I could, maybe go to a lower altitude, go somewhere warmer.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with keeping it on, making sure it doesn't ice up again. So too many people have literally crashed because their carburetors froze up and lost their engine. So don't be that person.
Not good.
Don't be that person. All right. Okay, thunderstorm. Back to thunderstorm. What is the life cycle of a thunderstorm, and how far away should you stay from a thunderstorm?
Cumulus, mature, dissipating, and 20 miles.
Okay, good job. If it was 21 miles away, would you fly next year?
I would probably be much further than 20 miles away, but that's like the legal recommendation.
And you'd want to see where the wind's going. I mean, those things move fast too. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere near a thunderstorm. No way. What is a microburst?
A microburst, I think of it like a bucket of water. It's like a really big downdraft.
I like that.
They can be within thunderstorms. It's just the air going down really fast and
microbursts a concentrated downdraft that spreads outward at the surface and creates severe wind shear. What's wind shear?
It's a sudden change in wind speed or direction.
Okay. Yes, it is, and not good.
Not good.
Not good. So yeah, if you saw LLWAS alert on ForeFlight when you went to go fly, what does that stand for, and what would you do?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Okay, they probably a little bit more advanced, but it's a low level wind shear alert. Okay. So if you see low level wind shear alert, then you wouldn't want to go. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. It's windy. Yes, you don't want to do that. Okay, let's see. What makes the field VFR?
For departure. Visibility. Having good weather and having no clouds.
Having good weather and having no clouds. Okay. So if it was just absolutely 10 statute miles clear, and the ceiling was at 900 feet, is that VFR for departure?
Well, we have to stay 500 feet below the clouds.
Well, that's correct. That's correct. But for a VFR, make the field, like, so when you go in ForeFlight and you're checking, I'm going to go fly today, and you see the little green dot, and it's like, oh, it's VFR. What makes the field VFR at McClellan?
Ooh, not 100% sure, because I know it's usually clear below 1.
That is correct. So VFR is, and you do know this, it's ceiling's 1,000 and 3 statute miles. Yeah. So that's VFR.
That doesn't feel VFR.
I know, it doesn't look VFR either, right? So if it says it's VFR and the ceiling is 1,000 feet and 3 statute miles, and you just see the green dot, and it's VFR, you get there, you're like, what's going on? Yeah. It's VFR, but you can't, if you're going to do pattern work, you couldn't do that because you have to stay away from the clouds, the certain cloud requirements. So you got to check all.
Gotta check everything.
Check it all. Okay, the next thing, cross country. We did that. We talked about your best route. So for your cross country, tell me a little bit about why you chose the route to Little River. So we're going from Lincoln to Little River. So why did you pick the altitudes? What route do you pick for your, for fuel, everything? Just give me the kind of rundown on your cross country.
Well, since it's during the day, I need a 30-minute reserve for fuel. Okay. So I need to be able to fly to my destination plus 30 minutes. Perfect. I have us stopping on the way there to get more fuel.
Perfect.
Altitude, I was looking at the terrain, seeing what's going on. It's pretty much a straight shot, so we're heading directly west. So I have us at 6,500 because we're above 3,000.
Perfect.
Just looking at different things. There's not a lot of airspace or anything from here to Little River, but the 150 is not going to be happy going.
No, it's not going to be happy, but it can do it. Yeah. It's done it before. We've went over to Shelter Cove. Okay. And that's even further. Yeah. So, it can do it, but you're right. You have to stop for fuel, and you want to make sure you get there. And then when you do flight plan like that, you want to make sure there's fuel at the field that you're going to. Yeah. You can't assume that every airport has fuel, and sometimes they run out of fuel. So nothing worse than being stuck at an airport when they've run out of fuel, or their fuel truck broke, or whatever the case may be. So you always want to make sure you check that. Okay. And let's see what else. And then what are the other things? We know we talked about it a little bit, but the other things what are the things you should check about the airport, your destination, before going there? Besides all the weather, what are some of the other things that you should check for?
Runways, seeing what runways they have.
Runways.
Lighting, services. Overall, just checking everything, the different frequencies you'll need. Just being familiar with where you're going to maybe look at like the taxi diagram to know where you're going to be taxiing. Yep. Just become familiar with it since it's somewhere new.
Exactly. And getting all that and doing that in advance saves so much when you're in the air. Having all the frequencies down, having all the the weather information any NOTAMs, the runway lengths, everything. The taxi, obviously, you're going to have the taxi chart up, but knowing what way you're going to taxi off the runway and what the taxi ways are, because if there was a tower, there's not. I don't believe there's a tower at Little River. I know there's not. But if you were going to an airport with a tower, and they're going to go, all right, exit 26 left, Alpha Charlie, cross, 30 right, and hold short of whatever. You need to A, be ready to write that down, and then B, be prepared, because you can kind of get an idea of where they're going to send you on a taxi chart if you have an idea of looking at it. So yeah, that's good. I would do the same thing. So good job. Okay, I'm not gonna have you show me that. You did the VFR fuel reserves at night. Did you tell me at night? What do you need at night for VFR fuel reserves?
To your destination plus 45 minutes.
Correct. And what would that be? Is that, how do I say this? Is that regular cruise speed, or is that full throttle, or what is that?
I have it for the Cessna as 6 gallons per hour.
Okay.
Which I think is a little conservative. But I kind of round up for everything with fuel for the Cessna.
Yeah, which is good.
But
yep. So 30 minutes. So it's regular at your regular cruise speed. Okay, perfect. Okay, VFR cruising altitudes. You already told me that, but let's kind of just go into that a little bit. So your VFR cruising altitudes, where do they start and where do they stop? I mean, 3,000 and what?
Okay, so you're always going to be, since we're VFR, it'll always be plus 500. And then it's Neod and Sweven. So if you're northeast, it's odd. And then if you're southwest, it's even.
I like that. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh, it's not my brain.
That's so good. So I always used to say the odd people live in the east.
Okay.
And that's how I remembered it. I was like, okay. So that always weirdos. No, I'm joking.
We're on the West Coast.
Yeah. So that's how so however works for you.
Yeah.
So what number is that from 0 to
179?
Okay.
And then 180 to 359.
Perfect. That's perfect. Okay. What does VFR flight following provide you?
It's time permitting for their workload, but allows you for traffic advisories and just having someone kind of watching where you're going, having your back up there.
Yeah, it's great. Flight following is awesome.
It's lovely.
It is just so good to have an extra set of eyes, as they say, up there with you. I used it when I had my bird strike. I needed them. I didn't need them, but it was nice to have somebody to tell what was going on versus not. Even though I had nobody in the plane, I felt like I had somebody there to support me as much as I could. But again, you're the one flying the plane. Yeah. You're the one responsible to look out the window. You're the one that has to do all the things. But it's really great to have them, so grateful for them, for sure. What happens when your iPad overheats and shuts down?
It's a sad day.
It's a sad day.
I would have my phone as a backup.
Okay.
And then I do carry the sectional with me.
Ooh, like a paper sectional?
I don't have it with me right now because I'm doing my nav at home, but in the plane I usually have
That's fantastic.
Or my instructor has one if they're with me.
Yeah. You always want to know where you're at.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. Good. You always want to be prepared. My iPad and my phone have both shut down numerous times. Yeah. So that's important.
Back it up.
I can't drink my whole water. It's so hot today.
It is a little warm.
Okay. No water breaks. Okay. What is GPS? What does it do? And where does GPS come from?
Satellites.
Okay.
They're looking at us and
they're watching us.
They're watching
looking at us. Oh, that's scary.
They're sending signals down and then triangulating your position.
Okay. Yeah, GPS is great. I know you don't. Is our VORs part of satellite?
No.
No, correct. That's a little. He's not going to ask you that. So just that was my own little made up question. That's why we have the VOR.
Yes, that's what you used to have to do.
And if we lose GPS, which I've lost it before, it's completely gone out up at flight levels, and it's there's
not fun.
You got to have something else.
Yes.
Okay, VOR checks. Are they required for VFR flight?
No, for IFR.
Correct. If you are flying around and it's been hazy out lately, been really hazy out, it's VFR, you're a VFR pilot, and you are unsure of your position, what are you going to do?
If I was on flight following, I could ask ATC, or I could look at my GPS, or I can triangulate with VORs. There's 2 around me.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you want to maintain aircraft control, obviously, number 1, fly the airplane. And note the time, fuel, climb if safe, altitude's your friend. But yeah, tell ATC, hey, I don't know, I kind of lost where I'm at.
Yeah.
And can you get me in the right direction? I had a friend, and she just got her license, and she got herself in a little bit of a pickle. And she got into some stuff, and it was really hazy, and she asked ATC, like, I can't see.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? Are you IFR rated? She said no. And they assisted her. Shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because you check the weather and make sure that, but if it does, she did the right thing by letting them know that she could not see.
Confess.
And they assisted her in via vectors and altitudes. And it's just, if you don't know, if you're a VFR pilot, it's way different when you're in the clouds. So that's why every pilot should get their IFR, because it makes you so much better.
Yes. Safer.
Safer. Okay. So you're flying along, and you're going through MOAs, because can you go through a MOA, and what is a MOA?
Military operating area.
Yes. Yep.
And you need to talk to the controlling agency.
You have to talk to a controlling agency to go through a MOA?
Yes. No?
No.
Okay.
Let's find it.
Let's find it.
Maybe you can find something that I gave you wrong.
No, I trust you.
Don't. Please don't. Don't. You can never know. There's so much information. Are you kidding me?
MOAs consist of airspace of defined vertical and lateral established for the purpose of separating certain military training. Whenever a MOA is being used, non-participating IFR traffic may be cleared through a MOA if IFR separation can be read by ATC. Otherwise, ATC will reroute or restrict non-participating IFR traffic.
So that is correct. IFR traffic, go ahead, continue.
Pilots operating under VFR should exercise extreme caution while flying within a MOA when military activity is being conducted. The activity status of MOAs may change frequently. Therefore, pilots should contact any FSS within 100 miles of the area to obtain accurate real-time information. Prior to entering an active MOA, pilots should contact the controlling agency for traffic advisories.
So
kind of like you can go in.
Yeah. So it's you gotta be extremely cautious.
Yes.
But you can go into a MOA without talking to anybody. But yes, it's good to get best practice, get flight following, see if it's active. Yes. You can click on for flight and it'll say. And so, anyways, let's say you're in the MOA.
Okay.
And you're talking to ATC, and it advises you that you may be intercepted.
Bad day.
What do you know about interception? Intercept procedures.
Just do what they say. Comply.
Exactly. So it says, and I'm going to read it just the way it says. Never happened to me yet.
Knock on wood.
Attempt communication on 121.5. Now, if you're talking ATC, I'm not sure if they're going to ask you to do something else. I have got to kind of find that out. And monitor 121.5 and follow the recognized intercept signals. So it's basically comply immediately.
Yeah.
A rocking intercept aircraft normally directs the intercepted aircraft to follow. Intercept aircraft acknowledges so if they rock their wings, you acknowledge by rocking your wings, and then review the aim table and do not make abrupt or hostile appearing maneuvers.
Okay.
That is, yeah. So we'll dig deep into that. Yeah. But you just. Do you want to acknowledge? Nice. They like, hey, you're like, hi, and you're like, what do you want me to do? And then there's a procedure for it, but don't be like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, now that'd be really bad. So it can happen. It does happen. Maybe you entered in somewhere that you shouldn't be, and they're gonna intercept you. So, anywho, cool. Moving on. Where does Class Alpha airspace start and go to?
18,000 to flight level 60.
Correct. All right. And what do you need to be in IFR?
You just told
I
me.
just gave you the answer. Darn it!
You have to have an IFR flight plan.
Correct. That is correct. Okay. Can you go in Class Bravo airspace as a student pilot?
If you've had the training and the endorsement from
correct, you got that. Most of them always say no, and I'm like, you can. So that is correct. And let's see, what do you need? So you're flying along, and you've got flight following, and you're talking to somebody, and you're 5,500, and there is Bravo airspace in front of you at 5,000 to 6,000. And you're heading straight towards it, and you're talking to ATC, and you're 1 mile away, you're about to go in it. Can you go in it?
No.
Okay. You're calling ATC to say, hey, I'm going to go into Bravo airspace, and nobody's responding. What do you do?
Not go in. You need to wait until you get clearance.
Yeah, so you could...
circle, go around.
Yeah, don't go in it.
Hang out.
And then what do you need to go in it?
You need to hear cleared into the Bravo. You would need your ADSB out. You would need your transponder.
Correct. You need to hear, cleared in the Bravo airspace. Have you guys done that yet? No. Maybe later.
Maybe.
Go do a bay tour.
Well, I've done a bay tour, but I don't think.
Oh, you probably stayed under it. Yeah. But you can, there's Bravo, and sometimes if they're not busy, you can say, hey, can I get, cleared in Class Bravo airspace? I'm like, all right, yeah, you can. Come on in, cleared in Class Bravo. Okay. So the next, what establishes two-way radio communication for entry into Charlie or Delta airspace?
You have to hear your tail number. So even if they're like 61329, hold, please wait.
Could you go in?
You can go in because they said you're called.
Correct. Yeah. If they say, now if they say aircraft calling, standby.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. That is correct. I know. I always have to think twice. Like when they say, 7257 Bravo, standby. They don't say stay out of it. And I'm like, can I go in it? Yeah. No, I can. I can. They said my tail number. It takes a minute. Like you have to think. Yeah. But then you're like, all right, that's that. All right. Okay. In Class Bravo, give me the basic VFR visibility and cloud clearance.
3 miles, clear clouds.
Okay, cool. What about in Class Charlie, Delta, and Echo, below 10,000 feet?
3 miles of visibility, 1,000 above, 500 below, 2,000 horizontal.
Okay. 2,000 what?
Feet.
Correct. In Class Echo, at or above 10,000 MSL, what is the VFR visibility and cloud clearance for that?
I think it's 5 miles, 1.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, cool. I'm not going to ask you the rest because you got... So, let's see. And that's... Did I ask you? I think I might have asked you on that. Is that MSL or AGL?
Me and this. I'm going to guess. I'm going to state, not guess. Okay. I'm going to say MSL.
Correct. Okay. When is AGL usually seen?
Isn't AGL written? on all of like that's
Yeah.
all the textual stuff is in AGL.
Yeah, so when you see it on ForeFlight, it'll be AGL, so 1,000 feet AGL. That's where it gets confusing for people. Okay, what is a special VFR?
Special VFR?
Yeah.
That would be when it's reduced visibility, but it's still safe to fly. So you have to get the proper clearance, and then it's like you can go, even though it's not great.
Okay. All right, an ATC, so special VFR in airplane, it's an ATC clearance, operation below 10,000 feet, MSL. And let's see, what's the flight visibility for, do you know the flight visibility for that?
No.
You do. Okay, then let's look it up.
Okay.
Special VFR.
Let's see. Look up Let's see.
It's good to get practice looking stuff up.
Yes. I don't even know where this would be, like, special VFR, though.
I love that you have the book and not the iPad version.
I have both. I'm trying to think of where that would just... Air traffic. Let's go into airspace. VFR. Special use airspace. Oh. No. That talks about Alaska. It might take me a second to find it.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to pause it or not.
91,157. Could be wrong. Could be right.
Ooh, no, you're on it. Except for helicopters, when visibility is at least 1 statute mile.
And
clear clouds?
yes.
It was right above. I was like,
Okay, so yes, 1 statute mile in clear clouds. So an ATC clearance, so within, below 10,000 MSL within the surface controlled airspace, 1 statute mile flight visibility and clear clouds.
Yes.
And then at night, what needs to happen for a special VFR?
Except for helicopters between sunrise and sunset, or in Alaska when the sun is 6 degrees or less below the horizon, unless the person granted the ATC meets the applicable requirements for instrument flight under Part 61 of this chapter, required with 91.205. No person may take off or land an aircraft under special VFR unless ground visibility is at least 1 statute mile, and ground visibility is not reported unless flight visibility is at least 1 statute mile. The flight is conducted in Part 91. The determination of visibility by the pilot in accordance with paragraphs C2 of this section is not an official weather report or an official.
All right, I'm just going to tell you. So at night, the pilot must be instrument rated.
Okay.
So that's.
Is that what it was saying? Just right at the front, at the top of it.
Did you read that? Maybe you did. Okay.
Read the applicable requirements for instrument flight.
Perfect. That's great. Okay, so we got that. So let's say we're at the airport and we have 10 statute miles visibility and it's just like clear everywhere. Except for ForeFlight, the weather is saying that it's overcast at 900 feet.
Okay.
But we can see at the end of the runway that there's clearly a hole that you can totally get up. But it says it's IFR.
Yeah.
Could you go?
This feels like a trick. I would say no.
Why?
Because it's showing IFR, but if you got the special clearance to go through the hole,
yes, that's correct. So you're right. So it's IFR, so you can't, but you could get a special VFR because special VFR, all you need is
1 statute mile clear cloud.
Yeah, and so we've got 10 statute miles, and we're going to be clear of the clouds, so we can go.
Yeah.
Now, we want to make sure that it's clear on the other side and stuff, and I've done that before where it's like, okay, it's, leaving Monterey, there's all these clouds or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to file IFR, I'm just going to go special VFR, get me out of here, and go.
Yeah.
So, that's fun. Yeah, good. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
I have it tabbed out.
Good. I'm glad you got to bring it up again. Okay. Getting through this. Wow, we've been going for a little while.
Yeah. Over an hour.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. I'll kind of skip you on down. Minimum safe altitudes. Okay, explain the right-of-way for converging head-on, overtaking, and landing aircraft. Right-of-way rules.
Right-of-way always is a plane in distress.
Correct.
Takes priority. But then stuff like lighter than air, gliders, anything that's not motorized or have priority over us, aircraft. And then anyone like fueling or towing a plane also take priority over us.
Okay. What about so if you're head on with an aircraft, which way should you?
To the right.
Correct. That way everybody doesn't
go the same direction.
And then if you're, let's say, on final, if you're on final or landing, and there's another aircraft that, how do I say this? If there's 2 airplanes coming in, kind of both to the airport, they're coming in like this.
Yeah.
Who has the right of way?
Whoever's at the lower altitude.
Correct. Now, what if this one's at the lower altitude and you kind of go like that?
Well, you can't abuse that. You have to. You can't like make crazy movements.
Yeah, exactly. So that is correct. Okay, let's see what else. You did good on all that. I'm gonna not do that. Oh boy, here's some fun stuff. Okay, some of my favorite. What are the effects on forward center of gravity?
Okay, forward center of gravity. It's gonna be more stable.
Okay.
You're gonna have better fuel efficiency. It's easier to recover from a stall.
Okay.
Just a little bit safer.
Okay. All right. More tail down force, and the wings are the wing lift, and I can't read my notes. And wing lifts are generally required, increasing drag and stall speed for a given weight. So that's okay. What about aft center of gravity?
Aft, less stable. Harder to recover from stalls.
Yep.
Overall, just not as ideal.
Not as ideal. That is correct. Okay, next is... Okay, how does excess weight affect takeoff and climb?
For takeoff, if you're heavy, it'll take longer for you to get up, so you have a longer
Which
you
do that in the jet.
Yeah.
You're like on the roll forever.
Yeah.
Like, why is it taking so long? It's like, it's heavy.
And then the same thing for landing. If you're landing heavy, you'll be fast and you'll take longer to stop.
Okay. What is density altitude?
Density altitude is pressure altitude corrected for a non-standard temperature.
Okay. And if you were, let's say, taking off at Truckee Airport, where it's the density altitude that day is like 9,000, what what are some of the effects that the airplane's going to have? Like, how's it going to be on the takeoff?
Overall, the performance is going to be lower.
Okay.
So your climb is going to be a lot slower. Your airspeed, you're going to take just longer to get up into the air.
Yeah. And then what about for landing? What could you expect on the landing when you have a high density altitude?
Faster, longer roll.
Longer roll. Definitely, yeah. Longer roll. It'll appear to be faster too. It's like, wow, I'm going so fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right, here's the easy one. What are the 4 forces of flight?
Lift, weight, thrust, drag.
Figure if you could answer everything else, you could probably answer that one.
That one stumps me.
Yep, that one, yes. What causes a wing to stall?
Exceeding the critical angle of attack.
Can a airplane stall? There's published stall speeds in the POH. Can it stall at other speeds?
Any altitude, any airspeed.
Correct. Okay. How do you get out of a spin?
Pair, power idle, ailerons neutral, rudder opposite, elevator forward.
Yes. And why do you put the elevator forward?
You don't want to go back into a stall. You want to make sure that you're relieving the nose down. Well, because you're here, so you want to make sure you're not going to go back down and stall again.
You want to get the airflow going over the wings. Correct. Okay. All right. What's an accelerated stall?
Accelerated stall would be like a stall in a bank where you kind of have like a little bit of a yaw into it.
Stall occurring at a load factor greater than 1G and occurs at a higher airspeed than the published 1G stall. So you're pulling it up and power, and you don't want to get
extra fun things.
Extra fun things that we don't do. Okay, what is maneuvering speed?
Maneuvering speed is the speed at which you could do one like full deflection in one direction without causing damage to the aircraft. It'll stall before you cause any structural damage.
Correct, which is it's not going to rip the wings off. Good. Okay. What is ground effect?
Ground effect is it's caused by induced drag. It's the interference of the wingtip vortices with the ground.
Okay. And what happens if you as a pilot attempt to climb too soon out of ground effect?
You would settle back down to the ground.
Correct. Okay. Yep. So I've done that. We've done that before with just for practice, just to see.
Just to
like,
feel it.
Whoa! Yeah, she wants to come right back down. It's like, no, not ready to fly yet. What is adverse yaw?
Adverse yaw is the tendency for the plane to turn in the opposite direction of where you're going. Okay. So it's kind of like, that's why you have to use your rudders and be coordinated. Yep. It'll go in the other direction.
Okay. Yep, that's how you control it. Okay, I asked you about spins. Okay, this is all easy stuff. Gotta make it harder. Gotta make it harder.
You don't have to.
I'm joking. So what is the purpose of maneuvering during slow flight?
It helps you learn about the power curve and how your plane's going to be reacting on final.
Yeah. Yep. It helps you develop control of the aircraft just and see how much power you need just to go at a slower speed and how sluggy it is.
Yeah.
And let's see. Okay, wake turbulence.
Okay.
There's you're coming into land, and there is a big, heavy aircraft taking off. Okay. Where would you land on the runway?
If they're taking off, it's like a bowl. So if they're taking off here, I want to land before their takeoff spot.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, we're going to go into the next. We're going to go into aircraft systems.
Okay, so exciting.
So many questions to ask. So many good ones. All right. Oh boy, explain. Well, first of all, tell me what kind of engine you have in your aircraft.
We have a Continental 200. It's O200A.
Okay.
So horizontally opposed, naturally aspirated, air-cooled engine.
Okay, perfect. Um, tell me about the four strokes of the engine cycle.
So you have intake, takes everything in, compresses it, energy, and then exhaust.
Okay. Okay. Intake. So tell me the four strokes. What are the four strokes?
Intake.
Okay.
Compression, energy.
Okay.
Exhaust.
Got it. Okay. Got it. So ignition. Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect. You're flying the airplane, mm-hmm. and you lose your alternator, mm-hmm. and your battery dies after that. Okay. Is your engine going to stop?
No.
Okay. Why?
Because it's separate.
Correct. How long do you have on the battery after you lose your alternator?
15 to 30 minutes, but if you didn't recognize it, it could be even shorter.
Okay. What could you do in the aircraft to have a little bit more time with your battery while you're flying?
You could turn it off until you get close to the airport. That way you're like saving energy, or you could turn off like non-essential.
Non-essentials. Exactly. Okay. And let's see. What does the magnetos, the check tell you?
You're looking to see if they're both operating properly, because you check left and right. Mm-hmm. So you're just looking for like a 50. I think it's like 50.
Whatever the POH says. Yeah. Yep. So so you're looking for an RPM drop, mm-hmm. that's within a reasonable, mm-hmm. whatever the checklist says. So on each one and, mm-hmm. between the two of them. Yeah. Correct. And if you have a magneto that sounds bad, mm-hmm. and it's got a larger drop, mm-hmm. what could you do to could you still fly it?
I probably wouldn't. I would probably taxi back and have someone look at it.
Exactly. It could be just carbon, yeah. on the and then you can clean the carbon, yeah. off by doing anything. But if you're not comfortable with that, yeah. I definitely don't suggest, yeah. it. You do not want to fly until the magnetos, yeah. are back to where they, yeah. need to be. Okay, good. We talked about carb ice. Okay. What do you look for when you are sumping the fuel?
You're looking for contaminants or water. It should separate, so you want to see like maybe if any condensation happened.
Okay,
that would be bad.
If you had water and water came out, mm-hmm. would you still be able to fly?
You could sump it out until, mm-hmm. it's clear, but you, yeah. shouldn't just fly with water in there.
No, they could stop, yeah. the engine, so you could keep dumping it and, yeah. then make sure it's good, clear. And then you could fly. Okay. Let's see. When can you reset a circuit breaker?
I think you can do it once, but if it pops back out, don't touch it.
Yeah, or whatever the POH, yeah. says.
But don't mess with them. Don't keep trying it.
Because it's obviously went off for, yeah. a reason. You don't want to start a fire. Yeah. Okay. Oh, goody. Okay. What happens if your pitot tube is plugged in just the front of the tube?
Just the front?
Just the front.
Your VSI will show 0 because you don't have the ram air going in.
Well, due to your speed.
Your speed? I think it'll show it lower. It'll be inaccurate.
Do you have your picture?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens if your hole, let's start with, just your pitot tube hole is blocked?
Just my pitot tube?
Yeah.
Your airspeed indicator is going to show 0.
Correct. Perfect. So that is the correct answer. Let's see. Drops to 0. Okay, what about if both the hole, mm-hmm. where the ram air goes, mm-hmm. and
the drain hole.
Where's the drain hole? Oh, is it?
Right
yeah,
here.
it's right there. Is blocked.
It's gonna freeze at whatever altitude you were at, so it's just gonna be frozen.
Yes. Okay. And then, let's see, both inlet and drain hole is blocked. Pressure trapped in the AC. Like an altimeter increasing in climb and decreasing in descent. Okay. Okay, what happens if you have a blocked static port?
Your altimeter is going to be inaccurate. It'll just be... They're just going to be off.
Okay, well so we'll go over those.
Yeah.
So so you should have them you have the little picture, but you should also have them written down, just like the. Okay, bring you don't have to go everything off memory. Yeah, just bring them up. Let's start over. Let's start over.
Okay, hold on.
Some of it was right, some of it wasn't, but let's start over.
Okay.
Give me all the errors.
Hold on. I was like, I have them written down.
Yeah, you gotta know. But okay, so let's start over. Throwing me off.
Okay. Which one is it in? There we go. Okay.
Okay, now let's do it.
I have everything in front of me.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's start. What happens if your ram air hole is blocked and you got a bug in there?
ASI would show 0.
Correct. What happens if your rammer hole and your drain hole is blocked?
The pressure would be trapped within the pitot tube, so your ASI would act like an altimeter.
Perfect. And what happens if your static port is just blocked and everything else is open?
Your static port is just blocked. Your ASI would underread, your altimeter would be high, and then your VSI would be momentarily reverse, then erratic.
Okay. And what can you do if your static port is blocked in the airplane?
Use the alternate.
Exactly. Some of them have an alternate static. So I know those ones are always so different. Okay, cool. Enough about that. So what checklist philosophy do you use? So for emergencies. So let's say you had an engine fire in flight.
Okay.
What would you do? Would you go right to the checklist? Would you do some memory items? How would you handle it?
With an engine fire, I would first just start my emergency descent. So power idle.
Okay.
Fuel off. Mixture. And just be descending. And then I'm looking for a spot to land at that
point. And why are you descending? Are you trying to put the fire out, or you?
Yeah. Okay. You're trying to get that descent. So one, you're getting closer to the ground. You're getting air over the cowling.
Got it.
To hopefully extinguish the flames.
Let's say a fire goes out at 200 feet. I mean, when you've gone down 200 feet and the fire's out, then what are you going to do?
Then I would get on best glide speed.
Perfect.
And I'd be still finding my best spot to land. And then if time permitting, I'd look at my checklist.
Okay. Perfect. So you do your memory items, you do your important ones. When the fire's out, you're a glider. So then after you're a glider, you want to go in and you don't want to keep your descent going and then crash into the ground. Yeah. So you want to get down quickly, but you're like, all right, now my engine's not working. I turned the fuel off. I put the fire out. I cleaned up. I'm going to get my checklist. Okay, cool. I've gone through all these checklist items. All right, I'm a glider. Yeah. Hey, I happen to see a great spot to land. I'm going to go land and call it a day.
Yes.
So, okay, perfect. That's great. Okay, what makes an approach stabilized in your opinion?
Being configured properly, being on centerline, being on airspeed.
Yeah.
Just overall, being ahead of the plane.
Yeah. Exactly. Being ahead of the plane. And if you're not, what could you do?
Go around.
Exactly. How many times can you go around?
As many as you want.
Exactly. Until you run out of fuel. Yes. Then you can't go around anymore.
Keep going.
Keep going. Good. When would you use a forward slip?
If I was high and I needed to lose altitude without gaining airspeed.
What is a forward slip doing to the airplane?
You're increasing drag.
Because
you're I like that.
Yeah, show us. Feel like this. Okay. You're right. The air is blowing on the side of the airplane, so you got a lot of drag. It's just so much drag when you do that. It just you pretty much sink out of the sky. So perfect. And talk me through a go around from short and final.
Immediately I'm cramming. so carb heat, power, and I'm just kind of stable. And then if my flaps are out, I'm taking those out in very small increments.
Oh yeah.
But and then once I'm flying, I'm making sure I'm flying the aircraft, and then communicate, let everyone know, hey, I'm going around.
Perfect. And all airplanes are different for that cram. So some have gear, some have carb heat. So a different procedure for different aircraft. So yeah, you want to make sure you want to be away from the ground and do whatever procedure you have for that aircraft. Perfect. And then of course, let everybody know when it's safe.
Yes.
What do they say? Aviate, navigate, communicate.
Yes.
So as long as you're aviating first, you're good. Have you heard of a land and hold short?
Yes.
Okay, so you're offered a land and hold short. Do you have to accept it?
No, and they're not recommended as a student
Correct.
pilot.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, if you can't do it, absolutely don't do it. Okay, you're on the roll, and a gust pushes you across the center line during your takeoff roll. What is your decision point to abort?
So I'm on center line and it blows me off the center line. If I can't regain directional control,
correct,
I would just abort.
Abort. Yep, exactly. Okay. The engine, the only one.
You only got one.
You're at 800 feet and your engine fails. What are you gonna do?
My decision point is 1,000 feet.
Perfect.
AGL, so best glide speed, land somewhere straight ahead.
Straight ahead, exactly. You don't want to deviate. When you do your departure, emergency departure brief, you want to make sure to stick with it.
Yes.
Right. And all right, I'm gonna at 1,000 feet. Yeah. Give me your departure brief.
Okay. I usually say this is gonna be a normal takeoff out of McClellan on runway 16. Okay. If I have any issues before rotation speed of 58, I will abort the takeoff, power idle, put it back down the runway. If we have not gone off the ground by usually taxiway, I think Delta, we'll abort the takeoff. Something's wrong, put it back down the runway. If I have any issues below 1,000 feet AGL, best glide speed is 70, put it down somewhere, usually on that golf course right out there is what I say. Any issues above 1,000 feet AGL, best glide speed of 70, turn around, put it down somewhere in the taxiway.
Perfect. Good. And you want to stick with that. And that's why you say, and always, always, always have a departure briefing, even when you fly by yourself, even if you're telling yourself. Yeah, say it out loud, say it to yourself. And that way, if you ever have to use it, it's no factor. Cool. So let's say you're flying and there is a restricted airport, like 5 miles out, and that's the closest airport, and you have an emergency, you need to get down. Can you land there?
Yes.
Okay, because it's an emergency.
Yes.
So you can do anything in an emergency as PIC authority, to be safe.
Yes.
So if it's an emergency, do whatever it takes. Don't skip over the military airport and I don't want to land there because I don't want to. It's no. If there's an emergency, you're PIC and you need to make that judgment.
Yes.
How would you handle an electrical fire when you're taxiing?
Taxiing? Oh, I'm turning everything off and I'm getting out of the airplane.
Exactly. Turn it off and get out.
Yes.
And then go if you have time, do the checklist too. If you have time, safely, obviously. You're under the hood for some hood time, and we put you in an unusual attitude. How do you recover from a nose high attitude, and what are the things you're looking for during an unusual attitude?
So if I'm high, it's gonna be blue, so power through, so power all the way, and then I'm getting everything back to level. So
and you look at your airspeed?
Yes.
Good. Your speed's important.
Yes.
Going faster and going down, going slower, potentially stalling. Okay. All right, you're flying to McClellan. Oh man. Just scrolled out. Hold on. Gotta go back to my question. and I know what it was, so I'm just gonna say it. You're flying to McClellan. There happens to be the tower, and you lost your radios before you go on their airspace, and you're not talking to anybody. But you got to come back to McClellan. Yeah. So what would you do, knowing that there's a tower there, and how are you gonna get back?
Like, I would squawk 7600.
Okay.
And then circle the airport until I get light gun signals.
Perfect. All right. And what if you can't see the light gun signals?
Probably just go over to like Lincoln or Rio Linda and land.
Exactly. Yeah, you could get in the pattern, but like, why? It's like, all right, they don't see me. I mean, they see me, but I can't see. I don't know if it's safe. Yeah. There's 3 or 4 people in the pattern. Bye. Go somewhere else. Get in the pattern. You could do that as well at McClellan, but if you don't feel comfortable, if it's too busy, then you could do that. Alrighty. Have any questions?
No.
Okay.
A few things I need to review, but
this is good. I know it's good because then you're like, okay. Yeah.
It's like game time decisions right now.
It was like pressure being on video and stuff. It's really good. It's really good. You're doing great, but man, might as well get 100%.
Yeah.
Since you're already at 95 or actually 98 probably. So you're doing really good. I'm so excited to get feedback from everybody on how you did.
We'll see.
See if there's anything else. That's it. Good job. That's it. You have passed your Checkride of the day. Yay. Okay.
First one of the week.
Yes, first one of the week. You did a great job.
Thank you.
That's what studying hard gets. Yes. So,
yay! You did it.